Dude, you paid how much for that designer watch? This is Act My Age, lessons from a guy who's old enough to know better. I'm Brother Russ, and today we're going to be talking about watches. Most particularly fashion watches or designer watches, depending on how you want to call them. You've probably seen them if you've watched any, YouTube or anything about this, men's style YouTubers. They will plug these fashion designer watches. And the spiel goes something like this. Oh, the simplicity of the design. Oh, how luxurious it looks. Look at the thinness. Look at the build quality. Oh my goodness, you have never seen such a wonderful watch like this. And all you have to do is use that code down in the description and you can get one of these babies for $100, $150. Easy. Such a bargain. Well, we need to be reasonable when it comes to these things. Now, I'm not going to make a video. A lot of people say, "Oh, what you should stay away from these things. You should get for the high-end Swiss watches. You should be buying Rolex. You should be buying Orient. You should be buying any of these big-name brands." And that's beautiful. If that's your thing, and you've got the dime to do it, by all means, go ahead and do it. There's some wonderful watches out there, even Timex, for crying out loud, has some very nice pieces, Seiko, so forth. If that's what you want to do, go for it. And particularly the very high-end ones, the ones that cost thousands and thousands of dollars, if you've got the coin to do that, by all means. I mean, I have always believed that men should have hobbies. You should develop expertise. And if that's your area, that's your niche, is that you want to know about these watches, you want a collection of these great watches, and you can afford to do it while managing to pay your bills, take care of the wife, the kids, anything else that's in your life, tremendous. Go for it. That is fantastic. However, there are a lot of people out there that are just interested in the fashion sort of watch. They're looking to make a statement, to wear it with outfits, etc. They want it to look good. And you even find videos out there about people saying, well, I bought this watch. There's a really interesting video about a guy who bought some movement watches a couple of years back, and they actually fell apart. But he liked the look of them so much, even when they weren't working, he was still wearing them as accessories. But I'm going to try to find that video and link it down below. But there's a lot of guys that want that sort of thing. They want it for the accessory value more than watchmanship, the engineering, etc. And I understand that. So I'm not going to argue that you shouldn't be getting a designer watch. What I'm going to talk about today is how much you pay for that designer watch. Because I'll tell you, there's a lot of stuff out there that makes no sense at all. We have to realize where these designer watches come from. Well, they are built in China. They are mass-produced in China. If I can find the video, there's a really interesting video, I'll try to put the link in below, about how you can actually get your own brand of designer Chinese-made watches. It's actually reasonable to do, and for $10,000 or $20,000, you can start your own line of watches because there are Chinese factories churning these suckers out. I mean, have you noticed how many of these fashion watches have the minimalist line that look an awful lot like each other? In fact, they look a lot like, say, these ones. I'm just going to pull up a few of them. They've got the big round face to them, the minimalist design. They're very thin, very nice, right? Oh yeah, you can see doing that for various outfits. By the way, these watches that I just held up, like this one, these inside their minimalist designs, if you go to the special link below on a lot of YouTubers, this will probably run you about $100, somewhere inside that ballpark, right? Each one of these three that I just held up, average price of $5. Retail. Now, how do I do that? I went to eBay. You can also go to Wish. You can go to Alibaba. You can get these things from China for, in this case, this bunch, $5 a piece. Why would I want to pay $100 a piece? Oh, but that one's got the brand name, right? That $100 one's got that brand name that everyone recognizes. But if you got that brand name that everyone recognizes and you're paying $100 and it came off a factory that may be the same factory that created like this one for $5, what's that brand name worth? You know, when you have a Rolex brand name, everyone understands quality, engineering, fantastic, heritage, etc. But these modern design watches, they are just there for looks. So what difference does it make if you spent $100 or $5? It's still a Chinese watch. Is it really worth the extra $95? I mean, here's other examples. This is actually one of my most complimented watches. Okay? I actually got 2 compliments in one afternoon wearing this watch. You know, it's got kind of this funky face. It's a little quartz number. I actually changed off the band. The original band was kind of cheesy, kind of fell apart. This is a TFX band that I had hanging around, and so I just popped it on. And like I said, I got 2 compliments in one afternoon. This watch cost me $2 and change off of eBay. $2. That's it. Or maybe you say you want something a little bit more interesting. This one here, the Paidu that I was holding up before when I started. This one is another $5 and change eBay watch. The camera here is not doing it justice. This is actually a very cool looking watch. It's very nice, and it's $5 and change. But you know, there are other types too that they talk about. How about skeleton watches? I happen to like these things. They're kind of goofy, but they're fun. You know, you can see the works. Turn it over. I don't know if I can really do this justice either. See that? You can see the workings in there. You can actually watch it go. You know, you manually wind, etc. These, about $15 a crack. That's it. Say you want something a little bit more edgy. Oh, wood. Oh, yes. I mean, you know, you see the brands that say, we do wood, and if you want wood, well, you know, you got to come to us, and that's going to be $150, that may be $200, etc. Let's take a look at some wood. Here's, here's a very nice little number. This one ran me, I think, $6. No. This is one of the more expensive ones. My apologies. This was $12. $12. Zebra wood case. Nice minimalist design. Likewise, this one, complete with its leather strap. This, I believe, was $14. $14. Oh, and then this one. This is fun. You see this little number? Kind of weird looking little thingy. It's got the wood grain on the design. This, eBay, 64 cents. Delivered. That's including shipping. 64 cents. I bid on this and won it. I just wanted to see what a 64-cent watch would look like. 64 cents. And of course, now there's the expensive one that I have on here. Let me take it off. This is my Bobo Bird. I bought this on Amazon. So I actually didn't order it from China. I actually ordered it locally. It came in 2 days. This is inside, a bamboo case. It is entirely wood, including the strap. The strap is, in fact, bamboo, which I guess technically isn't wood. It's a grass, but, it's, for all intents and purposes, wood. $21. Delivered in 2 days from Amazon using Amazon Prime. So, what else is there? Okay, maybe you want something that's a little bit more classic design. Okay, here's one, also from Amazon. This was, I think, $19. This is an auto wind one with an auto wind mechanism. The auto wind is really not very good. But For 19 bucks, what did you expect? You know, you just wind the watch manually, for crying out loud. But it's got, you know, as far as a build quality, it's actually pretty darn good, especially for a $19 watch. But once again, Chinese watch, but you're paying the right price. Suppose you want something, you want to go past that. You want a real name brand watch. Oh, you know, that's why I got to have like the movements or whatever. Well, you know what's really nice? TFX. TFX is a sub-brand of Bulova. A classic watch. You can get these ones. This one I think was about $15. I actually have like 3 of these that I put different color straps on. They have different color, you know, metal to it. And, you know, generally $15 to $25 if you shop. You have to do eBay. You have to wait for the right price to come up. But these are brand new. $15, $20 for a more classic watch. I mean, the box is probably of higher quality than some of these designer watches that you're buying from some of these other fellas. But they say, oh, the quality, the quality, the quality. They're still Chinese watches. Now you want to see Chinese quality. Here's an example of Chinese quality. Let me see if I can do this thing justice. See this? This is one that I got that didn't work, so I got a refund right away. But that's what it looks like when you pop open the back. Let me actually pull the spacer out, this thing, so you can see the movement a little bit more clearly. That's it. That is the quality of this Chinese-made watch. A teeny tiny little Chinese movement in the middle with a little plastic spacer around it to make sure it doesn't wiggle too badly. One of the things I've noticed with a lot of these designer brands that, you know, are selling for $100 plus, I've never yet seen a picture of the watch with the back off. If you happen to have one, go ahead and pull one. Why don't you do that? And just give us a picture. Post it below. Put it on the internet somewhere. I've never seen the back off of any of these watches. If it looks anything like this, then I suggest that you don't make the argument about it being quality, because that's not quality. It's cheap. And most of these things, these ones that I've just shown you, yeah, they're cheap watches. Huh. But the difference between these cheap watches, that I've been showing you, and the cheap watches that these other guys are trying to sell you, is I'm paying the cheap price for the cheap watch. They're selling you cheap watches at an expensive price. In fact, this whole wad of watches that I have sitting here, let me pick them up again, this whole mass of watches cost me less than one watch from one of these other designer ones. So what's the bottom line? The bottom line is, if you want a designer watch, you want the fashion watch, go ahead. But don't pay for don't pay a price that's not worth. Right? What I would do, what I recommend, first go to eBay, go to Wish, go to Alibaba, one of these places, and take a look at the listings from China that have watches that are of the sort that you want. Order it. Yeah, it'll take a month, maybe 5 weeks. But you never, as far as I'm concerned, you never buy stuff like watches when you need them. The thing to do is to plan ahead. Like right now, as I'm recording this, it is mid-February. So this would be a good time to start thinking about the sort of watches that you might want in springtime. Put the order in now. By the time, end of March comes, you'll have your watches for springtime, for summer, whatever you want to do. So it's all about paying for what you really are getting. Don't be bamboozled by these fellas that are selling you the $100, $150, $200 designer watch saying how wonderful it is. Now, if that's really what you want, if you really have to have that one, if it's really that unique, go ahead. Do what you're going to do. But make an informed decision. So, I hope you learned something today. I hope that was helpful. Please, if this was useful, like, subscribe down below, etc. See you in the next one.